And welcome
Hi.
to Kare Bar of the Cards for part two of the star cards. And welcome more intuitive me, Roots and Waves, Fatima,
Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Ange.
all
Hey,
the bright
Fatima.
stars out there. Gonna get started here before the stars come out.
They're already here.
Planning
Yeah.
it already. All right. And I'm gonna turn the camera around, and Karen is gonna kind of say a couple words of something or other, and then we will gonna get started on doing some more star card. All right.
Okay. Hey, I'm Karen of Care Bear Bard of Cards. And for those of you who don't know me, my channel, I like to write poetry. I like to read tarot. I love astrology, all those fun topics. I love to use charms in my readings too. So the layered readings, and I like to sing a little bit, and that's pretty much it on my side of things. I'm just happy to be here again, Bill, for us to finish off the star card.
So,
Um,
do you have a poem that you'd like to share right now?
uh, that was. Let me see if I can find it because I think
Well,
I wrote it down in this notebook. You might be in luck if I wrote it down in this notebook.
okay. I'm gonna try to
I
make
wrote
this.
it down on a notebook. Ah, yes, I did. I did. I
I
don't
think my
have the card with me though that this is based off of. But
that's
I mean, it's based off of the star, but it's based off one from a different deck. It was one from the Tarot of the Abyss.
so it's the star who flew over the cuckoo's nest.
She's more of like reaching up into the sky to reach for a star. So
Okay.
you'll kind of hear that. All right. One of the kids' toys is going off in the background. So yeah, I've got kids. All right. The star. Have you ever tried to touch a star, reaching, stretching, and plucking it from the sky? How does the cosmic nightscape appear where you are? Do we make the same wishes, imagine the same dreams? So far apart, yet closer in heart, silent hope expands the horizon. Only distant waters connect us in the broken bond, healing the fractures time tore into shreds. Then, like confetti, memories scatter into oblivion, swallowed up by the dawning of the sun. So
Hmm.
that really like kind of focused more like on the healing thing. And also I feel like with the star, there is that kind of distance still. So that's where I think the hope comes from because there's a distance.
So it's the star that's over the horizon.
Yeah, I like to think of that more in that way. But it's taking and moving forward and transmuting the last of your pain and healing, and that's where you um, give part of it over to the universe there for divine hope
Hmm.
and yeah, and faith to keep going.
Did you ever see that movie Avalon?
No,
I saw it once, but I think it was about some people coming
hey
as
Tom.
immigrants to this country, and that's kind of what it start reminded me of is the hope that people felt when they moved from their world to the new world.
Yeah, and then also all the hopes that were crushed for many too, with how some things panned out for them. But still, it was a lot better than the day there was a chance. Rather than being stuck in a certain class or not being able to do certain things. Um, yeah, but that's how it is with life anyways. There's 2 sides to every coin.
Hmm. So is this kind of like the right dark enough color that you're thinking of? Because things are starting to stand out from the stars are starting to stand out just a little bit, and the
Well,
starlet.
we'll ask the audience,
Yeah.
I think, because I know I want us to finish tonight too, so I don't
Yeah,
wanna, like, be
yeah.
too detailed, like I can be sometimes. I
So
was
you
actually
don't
coloring today.
you were coloring too, and
Mhm.
you didn't come with any other poems, did you? Just like some random poems that you wrote?
Let's see. I mean, if not, I can go grab some. I'm sure I got some somewhere.
'Cause I know,
I
like
keep them printed on my phone. I mean, I keep a lot of them on my phone, um,
yeah, but that
and then
doesn't
I'll
help
print them
you
out.
when you're using your phone for right now, that
It
doesn't help
doesn't
you.
help me, no, like, I usually, like, print them out for right before, yeah, but, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, yeah, that doesn't help me right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I have
I
a big
might can find some real quick, but, yeah.
I have a big pack of poems that are right beside me here.
I mean, that's one thing, you know what? I'm gonna put that on my to-do list is to, like, put a little portfolio aside
Yeah.
of them printed out or, yeah, and keep them in that so I can just go grab it or
Yeah,
yeah,
so
and have it
the
on
next
hand.
pack of older poems as well. I mean, stuff that's like, like what, close to 30 years old.
Yeah, I don't know if
You
I ever want to, share some of the things I wrote 30 years ago.
could go back that far. Well, there's
I
very
don't
few
know how to find those.
there's
Oh,
very
thank
few
you, Elizabeth.
poems that, yeah, because there's very few that I wrote back in the beginning that I would even feel non-embarrassed enough to share, you know, and
There is a really funny, book that I write, and you could tell, like, I was reading, like, R.L. Stein, in the '80s during this. I, like, took construction paper and,
yeah,
and then I took, like, my ruled notebook paper and stapled it, like, inside so I could, like, do the story, and then I did all of, like, the drawings and stuff, and, um, like, there were zombies, but I called them "Zombies,"
yeah,
and, like, really kind of a morbid story to be 7 and writing it, and then um, I don't know, I died in my story
you
at
got
7
it.
years old, and then I said, my parents were really sad, and they
Uh-huh.
cried. I remember this line, "They cried for about 60 minutes." That is 1 hour.
Mhm.
I literally wrote that, and, and then I said how much the funeral cost.
Oh,
And my dad was like, "That's actually pretty accurate." And I'm like, "'Cause he always talked about it." He's like, "They're really expensive, so remember to set some money aside." I mean, my dad isn't here anymore. I just
mm,
his birthday, yeah, is the 8th. It would have been uh it's been like 8 years. Uh,
mhm.
but that wasn't actually 8 years the anniversary. That was like, yeah, his birthday and then the actual anniversary, 8th year anniversary is in October. But yeah.
So,
Anyways, sorry, I'm
would you
rambling.
like would you like this what color would you like this area back here?
Okay, let me look at the original, the OG, which we've got we call this the naked lady card, but really though, like with her being, naked, it's just really like she's
Yeah, you want like
comfortable within her skin, right? So
mhm.
um they've kind of got them like dark in the background. I wanted to say I thought like some of those the mountains in this card, I think they could stand for some type of challenge, but I think it's more of like going to future, um, changes in your life. So I don't
So,
know. I don't think I want them to be really dark.
like metallic pink or something?
Let's make them like, let's make that mountain look like somewhere you want to go. Yeah. So yeah,
Would
let's
you
do
like
something like fun.
purple or pink?
Pink. Yeah, we don't have. I don't. I feel like we've been doing a lot of. Yeah, let's do like pink. That'll be fun.
Yeah. I have this metallic pink here.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry,
And
I know
then
you were, like, looking for but I was getting there. I was thinking it through.
Yeah.
out loud.
Well, okay, so we got some different colors in here. Maybe we'll layer in a little bit of this. And then when we come over to this bird, what do you think about that? That
Okay, so that's an ibis. And what's interesting is I was looking up ibises and okay, so I think like this ibis like hails to the one from like Egypt. I think it's like a nod to Egypt. But ibises are like red in South America, not Egypt. I think they're like white in Egypt. Isn't that weird?
Mhm.
Um, but I think a white bird is kind of boring. So
white boring, and so
let's
we,
do
we
yeah, let's paint this creepy bird. We say he's creepy because he's like watching her. um, let's do I don't know, something a really wacky like color that just makes him stand out.
you mean like maybe orange?
Yeah. Yeah. So then it's still kind of like scarlety, but orange is supposed to be like really a positive color.
A positive color. Orange is kind of a positive color.
Yeah. It takes and blends, the qualities of like red and
Mhm.
yellow. So
Yeah.
kind of tempers the two.
We'll just kind of put that in there. And it kind of contrasts to the other things that are there.
Yeah, because I wanted the bird to stand out, but I didn't want him to be white.
Yeah. So we'll run it like that, and then I'll probably get another color that I can layer in there. And what about the tree? Does the color need to be a particular scarlet ibises?
um, let's make this grass uh like the most beautiful grass you'd ever want to walk on. Like
Beautiful
just
grass.
beautiful, like let's do some like really bright green grass.
But I have some bright greens. I have a couple
Let
here.
me see your greens. 'Cause that's my actually green is my favorite color.
So I have let me go over the side here. That's one of the greens. And here is another one. They're very similar.
Okay. Yeah, I want to see a
Uh,
few more.
okay. All right. I will get we'll go in and get a few more. We'll go into the big giant pencil set and to see what is there. Green, green, green. Here's a
Ooh, yeah, I want to see what that looks like.
okay.
I'm like, ooh, yeah.
There.
Okay, so I think we're gonna have to blend that because it looks a little light. Um,
Um, Let me see what else we have here. We have some other green, green, green. What about something like this? I'm gonna lay it right over the top of there. See it? That's
yeah, yeah,
pretty.
yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll start there.
Yeah, I still wanted it to kind of look, you know, cute
Hmm.
green, not like just like a, ugly green.
Yeah. Well, but then we can come back in and get some other layers of other green too going in there.
Yeah, but I'm a girl. I like my grass green.
Well, yes, these are unnatural shades of green. You're not going to find a
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like,
a long looking this anywhere.
mhm.
Mhm. Okay. I'm just going to go over every. It's got some of these weird plants in there. I'm not sure what they are. So it's like the Wizard of Oz, kind of a green. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Maybe we'll because Jeff got in trouble with having got a nudity strike from a card.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
Are we
maybe
gonna have to do, like, a nod to, like, YouTube and, draw a bikini on her? Like, what are we gonna do here? Like
do something like that. Kind of,
Yeah, be like w yeah, censor the censor the feeders of life only, right?
yeah. Even though it's a cartoon, we'll just kind of.
I mean, even though, like, in the 1400s or whenever, I mean, if you look at a lot of the art and everything, I mean, they were everywhere because, like, it was yeah,
Gonna,
they
I
were
mean, that
very explicitly
make
shown.
now it's kind of standing out even worse. Well, let's go get a purple. Let's try that. Layer that down on there to take care of the
Yeah.
cartoon. Hmm.
Yeah, be like, "This is our, nod to YouTube."
Does it look? Is it working, or
No, it's
do I
not.
do I have to do it? Okay, here. This should work. There we go.
Not because I really wanted to, y'all.
No, there we go. Because I was thinking pasties, and then
Yeah, that might not be yeah.
there we go. I think this. I think that's better. I think that's better. Yeah, that's better. Because you see, when before Amanda's channel got really popular, um, she was all the time saying, "Oh, you gotta cover those stars up. Those star
Cover
the
the stars, yeah, the stars, that's funny.
you gotta cover those hero boobies up, and
Cover the stars. That'd be
yeah,
funny to start referring to them as that, "My stars."
cover the stars. Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna paint over my. I'm just not gonna do that. Um, I don't know. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
man.
you
I
could
wish
do
there
that.
was like a almost like a liquid, like, looking metallic that wouldn't mess up everything, like, that we could just put right there.
Pasties.
You're like, "Still, look here." Like
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what it's doing, and
a little
you know.
bit still, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, maybe we could, like, overlay one of your metallic crowns over it in a little
I
while.
already did. I did several of them in there. I did like three different crayons until I went to the dark blue. I mean, I do have a charcoal pencil, which, but you see, the charcoal pencil is
It's kinda
the
smears though, like, if you
it does, and that's why I'm
yeah.
not going to. All right,
But, yeah,
so
I was coloring today. I've been, because like, I don't pay for it, but the Chat GPT stuff, like, I've been, uh, telling it to make me, like, adult coloring pages, like and when I say adult, like, not
okay.
not naughty stuff,
No, I'm kind of
but,
I'm kind of
yeah,
curious. Here. So can I go
serious
over?
coloring.
Can I go over this metallic yellow, which is kind of has a greenish tone to it.
Over the,
Yeah.
which part?
The grass.
Okay, yeah, let's try it.
We'll start down here. So I might actually go back in. So it gets a different color, and um, then we'll come back in and maybe make it doesn't have to be complete over everything. So it just kind of goes into spots.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I like it. That's
So
good.
have you learned anything new since the last time we were on?
Have I what?
Learn anything new.
I'm always learning new stuff. Like,
Okay.
I mean, I mean, I'm constantly like, reading something every day, studying something every day.
Yeah.
Uh, I've been working a lot, like trying to learn my decans. That's a work in progress. And the tarot and to relate to astrology.
Or has it been like some life lesson that you started making a change and thinking, oh, this makes my life so much easier to do it this way,
I
and
mean, yeah, some of my life lesson things, like I just feel like I needed to like kind of sit back and just focus on some other things so I could like not have something, coming up or worried about in the channel. Like, I just kind of need to recalibrate.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
you have to take breaks often because then it comes a time as that why a lot of YouTubers do burn out is because they don't take breaks,
oh yeah,
and
like, yeah,
and it,
definitely.
and it especially comes um when they cross
When you're
over those,
monetized. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and then um
I'm nowhere close.
having the same problems that they had when they were in the beginnings is that when they post just a regular video, it gets like 10 views, and then it's just like, well, it's like a why bother? Why should I waste any of my time editing these videos together and for them to get like 10 views or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, um, I like might try to like make like a short video, like walkthrough or something, like something shorter. And then I gotten like a haiku writing kick like this.
Oh,
Yeah, like over the weekend. It was like,
yeah.
I don't know. They were just like kind of churning out. Like, sweet. I'll take it.
So you don't have any of those with you, those haikus?
They're on my phone.
They're on your phone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and if I, like, try to go look at them while I'm talking to y'all won't be able to see me, so
yeah, exactly. You don't want to do that because you might break the connection or something like that.
I don't
Yeah.
know. What has been, on your mind that's not, you know, political?
Well, I don't, I don't know. I don't know if I can even answer that question. I mean, outside of like constantly
Right?
trying not to obsess over your channel analytics and stuff like that. Oh, but what is like this wonderful thing is that Ramon's going to be on my channel tomorrow night.
I noticed. That's awesome. Good
Yeah.
job. Yeah,
Well,
that's
I
great.
was like, thinking about like, oh, who would I like to have come on? And actually, one of the
Yeah.
first people that come on my channel would be that Joe Montelio guy.
Yeah. Hey, dream it, envision it, and just
Envision it. That
picture, like, what would it be like? What do you think it would be like? And the more you do that, the more you're actually, I think, manifesting it by
you know
actually
that
envisioning it.
that would be like one person. Because he came up with the term. Well, actually, he came up with he voiced it, but I was like thinking it too, of thinking of tarot as a technology.
Hmm. Listen to me, I'm
Tarot
like,
is not, yeah, tarot as a
let me think about
technology.
that.
You know that tarot is a spiritual technology, but maybe I'm thinking maybe we don't need to use those words at all in tarot as a technology in order to gain information out of a particular system. I
I
think we
mean,
want.
maybe the only thing, like, really, I mean, well, it could become more technological now that, the
Well,
way
no,
the lines are being blurred with AI and everything.
but you're not. You're thinking of a technology. We're thinking of like a tool. A tool is a piece of
And
technology.
that's what I was about to say is like, yeah, it is a tool, um, that we use. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess, like,
Let's
in my I guess my idea of, like, technology is a little bit different, but it is, definitely not a mainstream view, and usually a lot of the things that start off technologically, people thought they were crazy. So
Well, there's always this like in Star Trek Strangers from the Sky, which is I think is the best Star Trek novel ever written. Just my opinion.
you read the books. I love you, Bill, but, like, I haven't been able to watch the show, like, I try,
Oh, well,
but
I've
I
been
haven't since I'm older now, though, so, I mean, maybe I should try again, but, Star Wars, not, like, all of them, but some of them are
yeah.
really good. Yeah.
So Strangers from the Sky wasn't it was a you would look at it as non-canonical Star Trek information. It's part of the non-canonical Star Trek universe, and so it was a about first contact and a story about yeah. So you watched Star Trek growing up, yeah. But so what it was is based on the old original Star Trek series, and there's an episode, and it has some of the earlier Star Trek peoples, like Kirk's friend Gary, and then there's this Elizabeth Danar and Gary, and they go. This is before these
They
people
have an
die
Elizabeth.
because they have this. What about this tree over here? While I'm coloring that tree, I want to talk about my Star Trek story here. And what about this tree? What do you want it?
Um, okay, well, the branch of it, or I guess the trunk of it, um, let's do like oh, hold on.
You want it to be like gold or something?
All
Gold?
right, sorry. Okay, I was kicking somebody out of your chat. All right,
Oh,
that
okay.
needed to go. Okay, yeah, I like that because I was thinking like, like I want to do like a yellowy tannish thing, but I like the idea of gold. I like that.
Okay, let me do that. And then um,
I like it.
we'll do gold for the trunk and stuff. And then my pencil is sort of, see, it's kind of coming out.
Yeah.
The lead is just kind of popping out here. We'll kind of run that gold down in here. And then we have, so what do you want the leaves of this tree to be like?
Hmm. Leaves. Mm.
Okay, well, let's just skip that. What about the water that's coming out of the star water?
Okay. I
Consciousness,
want it to be like almost like turquoise, maybe even a little lighter or something, like,
some kind of a blue color,
yeah, really pretty blue.
blue spring color. Let's go into my blues, and so we have okay, let's go over here. Now these are kind of bright blues
Mm-hmm. I like bright.
coming over here, more the same.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't like okay, so the one that's kind of like sticking out the most.
This one here,
Yeah, and then maybe like and then that light one at the end just for some X,
this one
to
here,
blend. Yeah.
and then
Let's see
you
what that
maybe
looks like. I don't
okay. Why don't we just start working on it, and then we might want to add some green to it to give it that more turquoisey feel to it.
oh, I didn't mean to do that.
didn't mean to do. You hit somebody that didn't need to be
No,
hid.
no, they need to go. I meant to, like, time them out, like, rather than I don't know if it just they need to
Well,
be
what?
banned.
Um,
I meant to, like, just make sure that they didn't come right back. Ugh,
was that okay?
yeah,
All right.
the Robo Troll,
So let's
yeah.
in here. Okay. All right. So now we get this kind of established here, and so we have this episode of Star Trek where well, this is where it's kind of a based on. It's the planet that wasn't there, and there was a planet that kept popping in and out of. It was kind of more like a rock, but it was kind of popping in and out of existence. Anyway, so they took this story with this planet that was popping in and out of existence, and they made a whole backstory novel about why it was popping in and out of it. So it came with this guy who
So
was
you
kind of
mean,
like
like,
a
what, it would just disappear and then reappear?
why it disappeared and reappeared, but then there was a whole story that came out beyond that, and so they so it was just like a novelist. They took like doing fan fiction, and
Mhm.
they took the characters and then they rewrote and then they wrote these stories because a lot of the Star Trek novels that were written pretty much by fans, and and none of their ideas ever made their way into the movies or into anything else. And so the Strangers from the Sky was one such of those novels that never any of the information in it just remained in the pages of that book. But nevertheless, so we have this backstory of where it was kind of rooted in the original series. And so then there was this magician guy, and this magician guy was um he was this type of being who was um his timeline was running backwards to everyone else's.
Wow, okay.
So you're looking at so you are going this way. You're going this way, and his and he's starting here as an old man. He's starting here as a young person here, while you are going this way. He is going that way, back through time, and so he's older in the past and younger in the future. And so they I think there is one of the episodes where they meet him as a baby, but maybe not. I don't know. I think so when and so then he's on this, and so where he's at,
It's
he's
like
sitting
Benjamin
here.
Buttons.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
he's in like one of those Egyptian pyramids or something like that, and he's playing around with these forces of the universe, and then he just think he's just playing around out there. And so out in the 23rd century, and he's making this rock, appear and disappear, appear, and so then they happen to beam down, and they're and that planet has an atmosphere they shouldn't be breathing, and so then they kind of anyway they end up disappearing, and they find themselves in this pyramid or something like that in Egypt in the 21st century. Right?
Hmm,
And then there was but they didn't all end up there together at the same time.
hmm.
They ended up so like they were all there, and then but Mr. Spock was like ended up clear on the other side of the planet. And then then this magician is kind of looking around, and he's saying, "Well, we got to find him." But then they find out, holy crap, there's more Vulcans here, and there's not supposed to be any Vulcans here. So what happened is that this thing that he did, it ended up there at the same time. There happened to be this Vulcan um, reconnaissance vessel in orbit, and so in this him doing this time manipulation thing in the future, it caused a crash landing of that vehicle. and anyway, so then this vehicle crashes in the story, and then it's all about trying to get those, to collect those Vulcans before the military does their job on them and everything else, and so forth. And but then anyway, and in there was a line in there, and I guess that's the relevant part. I probably could have just started with that rather than telling you the
I've
story
been listening.
about this novel that I've written, that I've read probably 40 times over the last 30 years.
Wow.
Um, uh, uh, anyways, and in it was a statement that one person's spirituality or religion is another person's mumbo jumbo, is another person's
Yeah.
science. Or
Yeah.
it's like
Okay.
one person's mumbo jumbo is another person's religion or spirituality, and still another person's science.
Yeah. I really
And
see that a lot in astrology and like astronomy, um, where it's very more, the scientific part of it, but astrology does have like a lot of things in it that would be kind of like you feel like you go back to, uh math, you're doing math and stuff like yeah,
yeah,
geometry and things, yeah.
so
I had
I'm
to
gonna
think for a
run
minute.
in here some of this green to give it that more like that turquoisey feel to it.
Yeah, like I want like yeah, like almost to like feel like a little psychedelic, like little color pops. You know what I mean?
Okay. So now, do you want this other one to be like a bright green that comes out?
Um, Maybe not green though, because it might blend like
Oh, I see. I get you. I get you.
yeah,
Maybe.
but like maybe like yeah, to like emphasize it more like um yeah, because it doesn't matter. There's no rules here.
Right.
We
You
can
are
just
no.
pick a something that really pops. We'll just look at your colors again.
Well, we can do that. Well, so maybe purple.
Mm,
No, that's kind of be too bright. We want to, because we have these different strands of consciousness that are being poured out onto the ground, and one that's making a pool, and the other one that's coming into it. So
yeah, because
maybe it.
she's okay. So maybe like, do you think we'll make yeah, what she's pouring out, because in a way though I've always thought if she was taking one, you know, but she's pouring into one and then pouring onto or yeah, we can make that water a different color. Yeah.
So
I never really
let's
thought about it.
let's go into the colors then and
Although
think
it's
of.
the same on the card, but
It's the same on the card. Maybe like one of these colors here, like this one.
um
Oh no! My pencils, all other pencils, all fell out. Oh
oh
well.
no, because little girls would be like, oh
Mr.
no.
Bill.
Oh
Oh,
no.
no.
That's
Did you
usually
ever?
because they actually throw it though. Like
Yeah, a pencil avalanche. Well, it wasn't that many. It was just a couple. And um,
ooh, you know what could be cool is like if we take um what if we make the what she's pouring out, what if we make it look kind of like rainbowy, like, in the stars. So it's like she's taking, you know, like heaven and replenishing earth literally.
oh, like some of the yellows and
Yeah, like why don't
um,
we just make it, yeah, like chakra, magic chakra water,
so yellow and orange
and then
and
it'll really stand out. I think that could be fun. Yeah.
okay. All right, all right. That sounds good. So then I'll start with
Hey,
like
we're seeing like, yeah, we are seeing an end in process, aren't we? Oh, hey, Bill, I had a few follow-ups on the conversation that we had last time
Okay.
about a few different things. You know how, like, you think later and you're like, why didn't I think to say this? Um, okay, so one of the things was I brought up, I'm like, what's the big deal about, why am I okay with doing tarot versus I'm not okay with doing the Ouija board? And
Yeah.
really, I believe though it's tarot. I'm not sitting there like, "Who's out there?" Like, I know I'm going I'm straight to the universe, straight to my guides, and, it's not like I'm just, being like, "Oh, whoever's out there, say hi and throw me out some cards and messages."
Yeah.
It would be harder for them to talk that way, I believe, like spirits. So, I think it's just more of like a weird open door, and they can just use the alphabet. And it makes it easier because you're just calling in whatever. So you're not really discerning it as much. It's like, yeah. So I thought about that more, and I think that might be what it is. Yeah. And says, yeah, it's not like you are knocking on the door. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Welcome, because there's the Ouija board does have this evilly feel to it. It's kind of like the Toth Tarot also has that same feel to it.
A little bit. Yeah. Cause I mean, when it's got the kiss of Aleister Crowley, I'm sure. Yeah.
I didn't get that chance to because Heather was talking about it on Tuesday about that whole thing of Aleister Crowley, and because she kind of started with the talk, but then there was that whole evil quality to him, and that kind of just kind of tripped.
He
Was
did some really, really bad things.
yeah.
Um, and but like since I do like astrology a lot and stuff, I just want to learn more about it. But like I kind of stayed away from it just because I just didn't really like his philosophy that much. I mean, not
Hmm.
like I'm like, oh yay, wait, like when he was really, had his own questionable behavior as well, is the fact that, they didn't even like credit Pamela Coleman Smith properly when the deck was released.
Yeah.
I
You
mean, that was
mean
rude, and then they hardly paid her anything.
in the Rider Waite version of it?
Mhm. Yeah,
Because it
and
was
she just did the line work. She didn't even do the colors.
oh, she didn't do the who did the colors then?
I guess whoever they sent in instructed the printer, I'm
Oh,
thinking. Is Tom still in here? Maybe Tom can, because that's my understanding from my memories when, like, I was listening to all this tarot history, like, 2 years ago, maybe.
Mhm.
So, um, yeah.
Okay, so
Lady Frida Harris did an amazing. Yeah, I'm reading what Ange said. She did an amazing job on the
the free.
on the though. Yeah, yeah.
I thought Frida Harris did the Toth Tarot.
That's what I just said, the Thoth or Toth, Thoth, however you wanna say it. Yeah.
So
And
maybe
I just said I like her artwork.
yeah.
Yeah. And then, Pamela Coleman Smith was a stage artist. Like, if
Hmm.
she worked in theater, and you can really see that, like, on what they call, like, stage cards. "Hey, Nancy, good to see you." 'Cause it, like,
Yeah.
literally, like, looks like they're standing in a stage, like in the Ten of Cups, and it looks like they're about to sing,
Mhm.
like, Oklahoma or something, like, you know?
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, the other thing why the Rider Waite doesn't have that same evilly feel to it is because that Arthur Waite
He's Catholic,
was
yeah.
was a Catholic. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then and that he had these his own kinds of things going on, and um
Yeah, I just didn't really like how Crowley treated women, but at the same time, some of these women, like, they weren't not enabling, like, it was, like, a weird toxic kind of. I mean, I don't really know in some cases the extent of that. Maybe, obviously he did not do some great things to other women, but at the same time,
Mhm.
like, I don't know. I just like can't advocate for just some of the things that he did. I just thought were like really gross as a human being.
And I think that it's not that people.
I've read a lot. I'm not gonna go into detail on
What I
here,
would
but
say
yeah.
is that some of the cards they look evil. They just have that look to it. So it's kind of like it's kind of like listening to heavy metal music and now I'm a huge I don't listen to as much anymore as I used to because I'm starting to get older and want more calmer music. But
Me
I
too.
did
Me
listen to
too.
a lot of black metal in my life, and there was a evilly quality to the music, but that's just because it was that part of that high cosmic. And so, it's just the show that they're putting on, and you can listen to this music, and then you can freak your Christian parents out and whatever, and so they go, "You're,"
Yeah.
uh,
Like, my
you know,
mom, like, burned my Nirvana tape, and I'm like, "Wow, that
mm,
was, like, not even really that bad," but yeah.
yeah,
I was, like, 12. I
yeah.
don't know, 11, I don't remember.
So how do you think of
Yeah.
this here? We have a bunch of different.
Ooh, I love it. I like
Well,
that better than I thought I would.
yeah,
I think that's really cool. But, yeah,
and
I'm, like, reading in the chat, like, yeah, I don't know what I if I say, like, the thought like, if I think it's, like, really evil. I think, like, I just kinda already knew what I thought about Crowley. B, it was easier for me to read the Rider Waite, and that's what we used in class, and that's what I was studying, and rather than, like, confuse myself with another system.
mhm,
I just kinda, like, you know, scooted it behind me and was like, "Well, um, I don't I would rather spend it here," and this is, like, straight out of all the history lessons that I was getting. Like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, all of them really, like, just were not great. They all had, as people do, we all have something, that's not so great about us. Um,
yeah,
and like, Mathers, I mean, like Mr. Made up Scottish, like that was his name. That
mhm.
wasn't his real name. Um, so I don't know. It just seems like to me at the end of the day, like who was probably the most real was probably Pixie.
Yeah. Well, no, but it might have been that. Who knows what that's what. But then a lot of it isn't it the energy that you also put into the technology of what it all means?
It's all about the energy.
You know.
Mhm. Well, and, Crowley wasn't even alive when the deck was published, right?
No, he wasn't
So,
because it.
I mean, and then I really feel like Harris's energy really like
Mhm,
embodies that. And I mean, I think like Crowley could talk you know, a good game. Like I mean, obviously when you're getting this kind of attention and stuff like that. But I think just in his like personal life, it was just really he
like
blew a
a
lot of money really fast. And
yeah,
he got all this attention was in these circles because he got a pretty big inheritance, I think. But he
I
blew it
see.
in like no time. Yeah.
So it was a case that he was like lower he was like lower
Oh,
wealth
my kid
class.
put this toy behind me. I'm so sorry. Let me turn this off. Ah, sorry.
So, so that Crowley came out of the wealthy class then? Whereas Arthur or Edward
I mean,
Waite did not.
I wouldn't say he's like, was like the epitome of money or whatever. I mean, I think like he had maybe some ties, but it was only I don't think his dad even really, like, they got into it. I don't know. I gotta, like, look back at, like, his relationship with what his dad was. I can't quite remember. But somehow he got that money, and he was really young when he got it. And
Mhm.
you know how it is for somebody with a lot of money at a young age, and
Yeah,
you've got some,
well, it
wild oats to sow, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, money has a way of changing just about everybody, I mean, because 'cause we're all susceptible to
yeah.
the same sins, the same, if it just to put it in that language, I think that I mean, because if you look at let's say I don't know too much about, you know, let's say Bezos. I don't really know his life, but see,
Yeah.
he was like of all of those evil empires that are out there right now, he was like a pull yourself up by the bootstrap kind of guy because he started that Amazon in his garage at his
Yeah.
pa- at his parents' house, and
Mhm.
he had an idea and it turned into something else, and it turned into something, and so there was probably a point in time as he was gaining his wealth that he lost touch with the rest of humanity and that he lost his empathy,
Mhm.
which is something that happens when people gain wealth is they end up losing their soul, and that's kind of that same of you're selling your soul, but it's that the more power a person gets, the hard, because it's they get power and it's kind of hard to step down from power.
Yeah, that really makes me think about what is that Edgar Allan Poe story that they just, like, did a Netflix series, which
Hmm.
was that series on Netflix? It was really whew, if you if people don't like, like, a little bit of gore and some, like, crazy but it was really good. Oh my gosh, Usher, the fall of the House of Usher or something like that, yeah.
So what do you think about this? I took some of these colors and I put them over here because
I
they all
love that. That I was gonna
going.
suggest that. That's so cool. I love
Okay,
that.
so what we got left is we got this pot, and these leaves over here, and then maybe just a few other touches up here and there to get it all done.
Yeah, it looks really good. And
So,
we'll revisit the censor strip a little bit.
uh, would you like maybe one of these things to be bronze,
Sure. Yeah.
a metallic color, and
Mhm.
then um
Yeah, I
and
like that.
like that, and then I think I have the
Yeah.
copper. I can
They're
layer
like
that.
terracotta on here, so I think bronze would be
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's give them a little level up.
But then what? Let's say we take the Ouija board. Next, I remember my playing with the Ouija board. And I actually consciously remember pushing that puck around
I
everywhere
was
because I was
laughing about that. I was re-listening when you were talking about that. And you were
yeah,
kind of like, "Yeah, everybody's eyes were closed, Elsa's eyes were closed, but my eyes were open."
I know, and making sure. Oh, look what's coming out here. Oh, yeah,
Ooh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So you know,
Yeah, there's that, but I do believe that there's a very real chance that things like, because you just, like, open yourself up, and usually when you're doing that, a lot of people, like, they're putting it out as a game, right? It's like,
they
"Oh,
should.
what's the worst that can happen?"
Hmm.
It's usually, like, that like, demons are more attracted to younger people and also people with, like, addiction, struggling,
Yeah.
people who have those tendencies. But definitely adolescents and teens just because it's such a crazy time, like,
Hmm.
I feel like they can, like, influence more easily. But
Now,
demon, like, it's not I don't believe it's as common, though, like, it's like, "Oh, I think I might be possessed." I'm like, "You're probably gonna know or other people are gonna tell you." Like, I don't know, like, I think you would be, like, more, like, scared, like, "I just gotta talk to somebody," right? Um,
mhm,
like, go to these paranormal channels, like, big ones or
maybe
something.
a Ouija board, yeah.
But,
Mm.
yeah, so that was, like, one of the things that we were talking about last time, and the other thing kinda came up, like, when we were talking about twin flames and all that.
Oh, yeah, the twin
Yeah,
flame.
yeah, yeah, and I like first of all, I didn't wanna, like, make it sound like, you know, I was trying to, like, rain on that parade and say, like, that's a bad term to use or whatever. I just gave my feelings from my experience,
Mhm.
and that I don't think it's healthy for a lot of people, and how the idea of twin flames is just kind of like being like thrown about like it's the same thing as like a soulmate, but like really like when you look at what they're saying a twin flame is like it's not a cakewalk. It's really not about being with your twin flame. It's about it's I feel like it's more of like a learning, experience.
Yeah,
I feel like most aren't meant to be together. But
mhm.
and I don't think a lot of people really understand what the twin flame is, and it just sounds really romantic, and it's not.
Well,
And then, like, it's like, "Oh, I wanna hear more about this," and then we get into what I brought up was the collective readings.
mhm.
And, okay, so a big thing for me, I like to see people shuffled live.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, because how do I know that they didn't just stage cards in a row?
exactly.
Yeah, so I like to see that. Um,
Mhm,
so that's kind of like one complaint, that I have. And I feel like there are people like who, their argument could be like, well, but people get so bored with that. Like it's gonna, it messes up my metrics on my, channel views.
yeah.
Yeah. So they're just like, oh, I just pre-shuffled or whatever. And here's the piles. This is big time in like pick pile readings too. And how do I know, like, they didn't just, pick a good story and place it together?
Yes, exactly.
So, that's kind of my problem when I talked about, like, those channels, like, where it's only like, they're only gonna talk about the twin flame and who, that they're running and then they're, and then you're chasing or the other way around. I mean,
Mhm,
it gets old after a while because most 9 times out of 10, nothing's happening.
mhm.
It's just all in your head, like, after you've reached that separation point, you know? So,
Well,
that's
maybe
why I don't like it, and that's why I'm just like, "Yeah, you know what? Soulmates, we can have several soulmates. We can have extra special, like, like a supernova soulmate, I don't know." I mean,
yeah,
but, yeah, where it can feel like a twin flame, but technically, when you start looking at twin flame and all that, like, it's really not a fun thing, like, it's not like you're challenged by,
mhm,
your twin because if you're that much alike, you're gonna challenge each other at the same time.
yeah. M
Or
maybe
you're
the
gonna or the differences you trigger, in each other, I
mhm,
feel like. So, but yeah, I that's why, like, if I have, like, a twin flame card in a deck or something, like, I just take and toss it. Like,
well,
I don't like it.
it may be that twin flames don't exist at all.
I think it just sounds really poetic. Beautiful. And
Yeah, but
you can feel that, but I mean, really, I mean, like, I just like, it's become like a whole toxic thing,
yeah,
and yeah, and after a while, it sounds like once you come it was like it really look back, you're like, "This sounds really delusional." Um, some of it, I'm like
well,
so
because
it's hard, because like, you wanna believe, like yeah, it's hurting them too. They want to so bad, and like it's just it taps in and it hits you at certain
Yeah.
points. This is a common story, especially here
Mhm.
in the YouTubes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's as I get away from those experiences, it makes me kind of think that, well, because when I was actually studied and looked at the whole thing of twin flames, and it made me kind of think, well, why is there only just one?
Yeah, yeah.
How
And
how
that is the idea, like, it's just supposed to be just supposedly just one, and that's where I'm just like, it just sounds really pretty, like, like, "Oh, our" but when you think about it, like, the flame, if you think
hmm
about, like, a moth to a flame,
yeah,
is that really healthy? Because the moth, if it actually goes into a candle, is burned, like, yeah,
yeah,
if you wanna think about it.
hmm
But,
yeah,
anyway, I just wanted to clarify, like, though, like, I don't uh I mean, like, if anybody, talks about, like, how I mean, I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, they're not your blah, blah, blah." Like, no, this is just from my own personal experiences and everything. I'm respectful,
yeah,
of others, and I'm never gonna be like, "Oh, no, you're not having that." I'm like, "Hey, if you actually, like, are having a real life interaction in a relationship, like, good for you." Like, awesome. And if you're
yeah,
not, like, still, like, but, I if there was anything I could hear, I'm like, "Hey, but just always remember at the end of the day, it's always about loving yourself first," is the lesson.
yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, it's just
what
kind of,
Ange said just right there, I feel like a lot of them are capitalizing on it to make money. It gets a lot of
yeah,
views. That's why
yeah,
it's,
it,
like, creeped over into the manifestation world too, manifest your SP and all this. And, like, actually, I sent, like, Ange, I was like, um, kind of some of my thoughts, we were, like, WhatsApping about it before. And,
mhm,
I feel like, a lot of content creators in the, subliminal manifestation world, have to put in, like, SP or get them back, all those kind of things
yeah,
because it gets a lot of views and it keeps them monetized.
mm,
Like they're trying to, like, float everybody's boat a little bit. But yeah, I just don't think that's really healthy. So, anyways, um,
so
it keeps people stuck.
it does. So you ever see the movie Leap of Faith with Steve Martin?
It's been a long time though, but yeah.
You've seen the premise of it, because there's a guy, he's a show preacher, but he's just all a con. He's just there for the
Yes,
money.
I'm liking this guy going darker too. I wanted to go darker, but there's so much of it, I didn't wanna say anything till you finish the other stuff.
Well,
It looks
I'm
good.
going to do the part of the top part so that things stand out a bit.
I like that.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Yeah, I'm not quite ready to let you go either, and we've only been on an hour. It's just about 5 o'clock. I do got to think about what. Well,
Your
actually, I
mama,
know.
you gotta think about your mom too. Don't yeah, make sure she's okay. I
Oh,
didn't mean to
she's
say
on.
your mama, like, yeah. You gotta think
No,
about your mama.
I am.
I meant that in a loving way.
Okay, all right. I got it.
And see, I'm like, I gotta, be mama.
Mhm.
Yeah. And still though, like my mom is still here and I worry about her. And it's hard because I don't feel like I can do as much for her, like with the twins and stuff. So I'm really thankful for all the friends and like my brother, he's a bit older. He doesn't have any children. He's able to help more. So,
See, yeah, somebody you have
but I still kind
dis-
of carry some guilt about it. Yeah.
absolved yourself of the responsibilities of being your mother's caregiver, and has gone to your brother.
Well, I mean, he's not up there all the time, but he's doing a lot for her. And I do appreciate that. and like her friends help, and she's been um and she'll like help them like by giving like gas money because she lives kind of far out. So and then she'll, of course she needs like groceries and stuff like she can't drive. There's a lot of things you have to think about, when you live
Yeah.
like 25 minutes from the closest grocery store. So,
Well, I understand that. I mean, I do have
yeah.
some close by grocery stores, but I actually get the bulk of my food out of a tribal food bank.
Ah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of this stuff. I get elk meat. I get ground elk meat.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fancy.
and
Nice.
uh, other things, and
I've had elk once.
yeah.
It
Well,
was a game. It was at a game steakhouse, like one of
the
my
tribes are
friends.
the only ones who can um get more. And then other that than that, and the farmers, because farmers, but you can't exactly sell it, and so I guess
Yeah.
there's some rules in there. So why they're not selling it when it goes into a food bank, and
I thought it
you
was
know,
like really good, like the pandemic started, like all the schools, like, even though they're closed, like you could still go and get lunches
hmm
and dinners, and stuff because there's a lot of families who don't have enough money.
yeah,
And we've been fortunate that there's only been 1 year, 1 school year that I had to pay for my son's school lunches since.
yeah,
And but I guess they had some more money that moved around and they put it back around, which I think is good because um like we were actually like in a harder financial position at
well,
that time than at the start of the
food
pandemic. And I feel like
banks go
nothing's
on.
settled out. You know what I mean? Like entirely, like especially with the economy.
If you have a food bank in your area, it's not there's no shame in
Hey,
showing.
Ramon. Ramon is here.
So there was
All right.
another question I wanted to ask you is you came out of a Protestant background, right? You came out of
Okay,
the
no, that was my husband did. I actually came out of a Southern Baptist.
that's what I mean. You came out of that's what I
But
mean.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, but
So
like, but when you say Protestant here, like it's a thing. Like
you,
that's why I'm
you
like, my parents were like, "You're going to a like a or no Presbyterian, not Protestant, a Presbyterian church." Sorry, my
so
bad,
when I think of Protestant,
my
every
bad.
I think of every church that is not Orthodox
Hmm.
and everything that came into being after Martin Luther nailed his 95 theses to the wall,
Okay.
to the door of the church. Every branch of the church that came from that moment forward is part of the Protestant movement.
Hmm.
And so that includes you as
Protestant versus the Catholic. Okay,
yeah,
duh.
exactly, yeah.
I'm sorry, it took me like it's been a while since I
This is
I mean,
like
this was like my school days. Like I started thinking about it, and then I'm like, duh. And then I started thinking about like in Ireland, that was a big thing.
yeah,
Protestants versus
okay.
Catholics, right? Yeah.
So when you, as a Southern Baptist, coming to tarot, I have this theory, and I'm gonna ask Ramon about it tomorrow night, and I'm gonna ask multiple people about it. Yeah, because everybody who's come out of that Catholic
Hmm.
worldview, that it might have been easier to come to the tarot from Catholic than it is from Protestant. But now I was a Catholic convert, and coming from Lutheranism and right in the middle of the road. But then, of course, I was always a heretic, so maybe it's pretty easy when
I was
you're
always a little bit different. Like, I mean, I
yeah
told you, like, yeah, like I was the kid in Sunday classes. Like, so how are we different from Jewish people? How are we different from like, what do they do? That, and like, of course, now, like, the Sunday school person's probably like, it's like, gosh almighty, I'm doing this for free. I don't do all this other stuff. I'm just here to like teach you about,
yeah
you know. Joseph and his coat of many colors today. Like,
Yeah.
I was that kid, right? Because I was just so curious. I was always curious. But I do what I feel like has given
Mhm.
me, and this is a different kind of link, is like, I don't have to, because I've always been raised this way to believe that there's always been a higher power that is not human, you
Mhm.
know? Um, and to have that faith in that, I never had to reestablish that. Um, it's ironic because I have so much Taurus in my chart that one of my cards is the Hierophant, but I'm definitely more of the ruler, it's ruler Venus, more so with the Empress lines and the Hierophant. But
Mhm.
I guess it's just like more of my challenge is trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out what I do and what I don't believe. Um, it's hard, but I just know that I do believe there is God, a greater, like, and when I say God, I do believe like there's, you know, the big guy in the sky somewhere.
Well, yeah,
um,
that's
yeah,
your
and and whether you want to call that source or whatever, that's what I
yeah.
believe. And but I just don't believe in some of the things that were written in the Bible. It
Yeah,
kind
I
of,
agree.
and then
I
some things I do, and then some things I don't.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of that has been tainted and um, shifted over time because the Bible wasn't like it was written by people over time, and how was that information? Was some of it taken out?
Mhm.
What about the book of that controversial book? What is it, Enoch or something, or what is that? Is
There
it
was
Enoch?
lots of controversial
Yeah,
books, including
and
including
yeah,
the
and
book
it's
of
like, why did they take this over this person?
yeah.
'Cause, like, I don't
Mhm.
trust history too, and that's been proven because it's very, like, written subjectively in some ways. And when I say I don't trust history, I mean, like, I
Yeah.
don't trust, like, everybody's, like, opinions and their subjective viewpoints behind how they paint things. And I feel like a lot of things weren't showcased or celebrated, just because maybe somebody's skin was a different color or they were a
Mhm.
woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I guess
Yeah.
my question is did you have
That
to
was a
do
really side thing. My bad.
so, I mean, maybe the question being is how much deconstruction did you have to do?
Mm. Well, um, deconstruction,
Yeah,
not so
so, like,
much.
how deconstructing out of your Southern Baptist roots and to
Well, I'd
come
already had done that because I was going to a Presbyterian church for a while, and it was
okay.
a big thing when my parents came
Mm,
and when my son got baptized there, which the baptism was very different as well.
yeah,
I was dunked. Like, it's just like literally
but,
they have pools like that built in, on the stage, like in a lot of
yeah,
Southern Baptist church, and like fill it
yeah.
up with I don't know how many freaking gallons of water went in there. And I
Mhm,
was like, I hated holding my breath underwater. Like, and I'm
mhm.
like, well, I just told my mom, I was like, I'm gonna have to hold my nose though. Like,
Mhm.
I
I
did
mean
not like getting dunked. And then, you get sprinkled in the Presbyterian. So I mean, it's just like a lot more formal.
so because if you look at Orthodoxy or you look at Catholicism and you look at stuff like this, and you already have so much of the story is told in images.
Hmm.
And this does not exist in the Protestant world. It does not exist because it is seen as idolatry, and because also the Protestant world came after the printing press, and so it came after the printing press, and so you don't get prayer cards. There's no prayer candles.
Hmm.
There's no images. There's no icons. There's nothing like that that exists
I
in
wonder
okay.
I wonder when you look at artists who did like wood engravings like that could be printed off of, if
Hmm.
there was some, like I'm thinking like Albert Dürer, probably one of my
Yeah.
favorites, a German artist. Actually, I have a you know what? I'm gonna like take it down off my wall and say,
Okay.
here's a little share and tell.
Hmm.
All right. Okay, you're probably gonna get a really good glare off this, but this is St. Jerome in a study. My dad was a plumber and electrician. He had his own business. After he worked for several years at Duke Power, and he was the steel worker, like so he was on the high rise and all that, crazy heights and all that stuff. Um, and then at night he apprenticed to be a plumber. And so this is, of course, when I'm growing up, he had the success, and he had an interior and designer friend who gave this to me. You're gonna see my ring light. Let me put that down. Okay. You're gonna get a little bit of a glare.
Okay.
And look, you've got the lion down there, and then there's like a dog there, and
Yeah.
then you got the skull, but in a study. So um I love this. And he gave it to me in the frame and everything. This is an antique print off of Albert Dürer. So or antique print of it. And that was really nice. Because I was always
Hmm.
like, oh, I love that. And I didn't know
Yeah.
why I loved it, but I just did. And he just gave it to me. Now, I've always talked about it. I've never showed it before. So
Hmm.
I did it on,
Interesting.
yeah, I was going to suggest maybe bringing it up and doing the little tie. When
Yeah.
I was able to wear bikinis before my twins ruined my belly. Yeah, I would always wear those. Oh,
Yeah.
well,
So
that's
that.
good.
Mhm. There's these things that I would like to trying to I want to know. I mean, I have my own theories, but I'm probably completely wrong on most of them. And
Yeah. Some of it I'm in a process of discovery, like with a meditation right now. I'm trying to my goal is like I just like want to have one of those like experiences, you know what I mean? And I've gotten close.
Hmm.
It just takes a lot of time, but I want to
Yeah.
feel that breakthrough where you feel that like that consciousness feeling that everybody talks about
Yeah.
when you
Not.
get far into it. And I want to see like that truth. But a lot of people when they say after you see that it's kind of like the world is just like I don't know, like you just see it's like the Matrix. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Well, I have had
and
that.
I don't know, like I mean that's where I'm just like, oh my god. I'm just trying to like really go, and a lot of that is like where you have to pull the mind out of the body. Like you basically like because you're nothing. You're
Mm,
nothing. You and not like saying like, oh, I'm like no. I mean, it's just like we take our ego out of it because like we are nothing at that point. We're part of like a bigger thing. It makes sense. And you have to have a certain high vibration to reach those points because I mean, think about it. Like we're on the physical plane. So everybody, they're vibrating much higher than we are. So I'm just trying to um, see if I have that ability to tap into that and
well,
yeah, break
maybe
the code. I don't know in my
maybe
mind.
it could if it's ever safe. Maybe we've burned too many bridges now, and we can't ever do it. But maybe you should go to the Holy Lands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like
I mean, literally to go to
want
to
it
go.
to settle down though. Yeah. It's
It never
not
will,
where I
but
want to go right now. It's sad.
literally to go to Israel, and because lots of people have experiences
You
in
were talking
Israel.
about that last time. You were telling me about your friend. Yeah.
Yeah, and in different places. There is a a something called the I think you call it Jerusalem syndrome. In
Mhm.
Jerusalem, somebody goes over to Israel, and then next thing they know,
She needs a sarong, Elizabeth.
they quit their jobs and they end up being a beggar on the streets, or preaching the end is near or something like that. I don't know, some kind of a bizarre thing, but Jerusalem syndrome, and that there were 21 of us, I think 20 of us that went on that Israel trip from my alma mater, and almost everybody there had an experience while they were in Israel.
Did you?
Yes, I had one, and mine
Okay.
lasted.
I know, it's like, I didn't know if, like, you were like, "But
Mine,
me." I was just waiting.
mine lasted quite a while, but mine actually started before I went. I was being deprived of something, and it went into really a deep darkness for years.
Oh,
Just a deep darkness of just being, it was just like, and
you
so that,
reached
but
and what is it, like echelon, or you reached, like, some pinnacle that you haven't been able to get to again? Is that what you're saying?
something like that,
Yeah.
or I never tried, and it's that some who say that if you seek after experiences, this is something that can happen to you. That you gain these experiences and you have these experiences, and then spirit takes it all away from you.
Hmm.
It leaves you. It leaves you just like, um just leaves you. And that is kind of, that happened in a
Like, "Oh,
twofold.
here's this it," and are you supposed to take it and then, like, help others reach it? Like, what yeah.
I think the point is when they, in the scriptures, they do talk about this, in a sense that at that point in time, that's when you proceed forward by just your will alone.
Mhm.
And the saints talk about it. Saint John on the cross, that dark night of the soul.
Yeah.
What that meant. It's that you're going through the valley of death. You're going through the valley of the shadow of death, and then you're proceeding forward. And so, how do you make it through that?
Mhm.
And then that, but then you do.
Yeah.
Then you're something else.
Oh, her
Yeah.
bikini's looking pretty good now. I like it.
So we got all the colors in
I think
there.
she might need, like, a little, like, I mean, do you think, like, we should maybe give her, like, a little sarong or a little hip skirt
Over
or
here,
something? Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
something. I wonder what that would be. Well, we'll just start working on it. Be in the blue, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. She can't be wearing one of those, like, Kardashian suits. Yeah. They're all
Probably.
about, yeah, I'm like, man, like, if I was, 20 right now, like, all these, like, things I have probably been doing pretty good.
Yeah, you need something, huh?
Always kinda had, like, a little bit of a booty, so I'm like, "Why not?" But then it was like when in mine, it was, like, all about, like, how skinny can you get?
Yeah.
So
Uh, let's see. This is like what, some granny panties that she's wearing or something.
I like it.
All right. Well, we'll start with the blue, and then we'll add some other kind of colors in here.
No,
Maybe we'll.
definitely not granny panties, just, it's just like a little swim skirt or like a sarong.
It looks like it's something. It looks like it's made out of spandex right now.
Um, Maybe, you could take, like, and create some, texture, like, by breaking, kind of like I don't know, like a fringe almost,
Well, we'll just do a whole
but
bunch of
just
different.
very little. Yeah, like, but I mean, not like to make it, look like one of those. Remember, like 80s shirts where we like would cut and they did the like the fringe. Like,
Well, I don't know. It's kind of like a multicolored workout wear. You got the sports
yeah,
bra
yeah,
on,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
uh,
you gotta put in your workout gear here.
yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, pick it up."
I was experimenting around with
One way it
the
up.
water. Mhm. Yeah, so it's kind of
Oh
got like all these
my
different colors.
god.
Here it is. Let me just see what we can come up with here.
Ooh, I like that pool of water. Oh, this is looking good. I like
Yeah.
it. I like it a lot.
We got some good ideas that are coming out, and
Yeah. Yeah, this is like, um, Athleta or, Lululemon or Lululemon, however you say that.
mhm,
The goddess Nike. Nike.
okay. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna put in some different colors and got all these
It looks
colors.
really good, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. All the stars make me really happy on it because,
Well, that's
yeah.
good. And this is
Mhm.
you've
In
been
the
directed
water, it's really pretty.
with your telepathic powers here to
Oh, yeah, so telepathic.
me here. So
No, no.
yeah, with the
I
crotch.
love it. It looks so good. Hey,
Yeah.
cool.
So because of this over here, it could be a skirt, but there's all of this in here,
Yeah.
dark lines, and so that
I've
kind of
got
takes.
one final thing.
Okay,
Can you find like a hot pink and can you color the border at the bottom just like hot pink?
hot pink. Okay,
Yeah.
like can you
Yeah,
see
so we don't leave like, the star where that
that? What about that?
writing is.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's color
let me
that
see
a
what
hot pink.
other hot pink we have.
Yeah, this looks really good. I love it.
All right, pink. We got these pinks here. But I'll just leave the pink page open, and we'll do that over here. So this has been a delightful day. I almost forgot that I had
Oh, yeah, I
scheduled
like that.
it
Listen to me.
full, and I realized that when I went in on a my laptop that I changed the time of this, so it got changed back down to a 4 o'clock. Because
Okay. I was like worried for a little bit. I was like, because I went on to look at emails and like one didn't pop up. Then I finally found it, like the one to link on to here. Um, but anyways, I looked and I was just like, oh my gosh, I hope it was like 7 my time and not like
well,
yeah.
I wasn't had it put it in there at 7 my time, and then I
Oh, okay.
changed it. I changed it. I was like a couple days ago. I think, oh, I went back in and I was looking through all the emails, and I think, okay, what?
And I haven't been checking my email like for the past few days because
Yeah,
got distracted with um my son having strep
yeah.
and mystery and throwing up, which was kind of like weird. I was like, I finally did a Dr. Google, like, oh God, Karen, here we go.
Hmm.
And Dr. Google was right on that one. Like, yeah, you can throw up when you have strep, apparently. Because of
You know what? You can grow up on a lot of different things, though. Especially when you're a kid, you can lots of. Marvin, welcome.
Hey, Marvin. Ooh, I like
Mhm.
it. I like it. This
Yeah,
is a
so maybe
very happy star card. I like that.
I'll read a poem here. I wonder if I can read somebody else's poem, can I?
Absolutely.
Or maybe this
I
is a
had
good.
one of your books out the other day, and there was like, it's literally like I just the first thing I was like, "Ooh, that kind of like makes me think of the star." Which book was that that
Yeah.
you sent me?
Let's see. I have. Um how about this one? I'll read this one. I think called 100 Monkeys.
100 monkeys and 1
Yes.
star. Just kidding.
Oh, 100 Monkeys. All right. This is from 2005.
Oh, cool.
I got this kind of a one monkey banging away at the typewriter sort of thing going on. Meaning is extracted through the seeming randomness of it all. A stray observation here, a comment there, along with the occasional realization. Geological ages pass as these layers of sediment settle, compact into minute blocks of earthy clay. Data bricks shift up, down, right, left, back, forth, rotated every which way, turned inside out, geometrically categorized by 99 dancing chimpanzees playing Chinese checkers.
I'm sorry, I just, like, laughed at the last 2 lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, but,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I was getting into the, like yeah, I was getting into that.
Can I read this poem? Is there like some language in it that I can't read?
What year was that a year? April
That's weird.
14th, 2012. Okay.
Yeah. Let's just read that one. I heard a poem today. In the madness of the syllables, I was speechless. It sounded like water as it bubbled out the side of a hill whose virgin stream carved muddy pocks in the soil. It sounded like a creek as it roars over smooth stone polished by fluid sand. It sounded like a blue-headed bird calling out to a mate in the wind. It sounded like a cloud talking to the sky and whispering in a whispering vapor. It sounded like a new blossom kissing a branch in purple puckers. It sounded like the shadow of the sun as it gently tugs a blanket up a side hill. It sounded like children jumping up and down on a trampoline trying to reach heaven. It sounded like a million people driving down the highway, oblivious to what lies below their four tires. It sounded like a dog lifting his leg to spray a bush. It sounded like, gee, I don't know what it sounded like. Why are you asking me about this stupid poem?
I was gonna say, what was it? What was it?
Well,
Oh,
that was
I
it.
really liked, yeah, that one, I'm sorry, I literally had to, like, LOL, right? In, like, a good way.
Had to think
Um,
about that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I liked that. There were,
Mhm.
like, a few lines back, like, before you were like, um oh, I'm trying to remember. There was something I wanted to say about that. It was, like, when you were like, "Look at" and that was before, towards the end, like, the part that made me, like, laugh out loud,
Well,
literally.
it's that sense of writing poems about moonbeams and rainbows and little leprechauns and so forth. And so it was kind of like a taking that those type of things and making fun of those kind of things, of those
Yeah,
type of it's
I
like,
liked
what?
it, yeah.
What are we talking about this stupid poem anyway?
Yeah, there was the whispering in the vapors, and then there was something you said, like, even, like, a few lines after. It was something
Whispering in the vapors. Let me see if I can find that again.
like, yeah, like a little bit after that.
Okay. Okay, so we have um this blue-headed bird calling out to a
Oh, I
mate.
remember the part, Bill. Okay, so instantly, the shadow of the sun, and for some reason, I started thinking about children, and then you literally said, as soon as, like, it went in my head, like, children jumping up and down on a trampoline to
Trying to
reach to
read.
have I love that
It
because
sounded
it
like
does, it feels like that. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, I really liked that line and the image that it gave me and
Yeah,
remembering my childhood and then looking at my children, and my son. My girls haven't done a trampoline yet, but my
purple pup.
son and the joy he gets out of that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I liked that a
Mhm.
lot. Sorry, I couldn't remember that it was about kids. Ironically, that line.
Yeah,
I
I
really liked that image. That was
I
nice.
heard a poem today.
Yeah, and I can't jump anymore either, not after twins and a son, yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, jumping up and
The
down. And here
price
you
that women pay, yeah.
have your star, and it was part two. And what is today? Date completed
The 21st, is it? Is it
on
the
two
21st? Yes.
one 2025.
Mhm. Yeah.
So like almost 3 weeks in between
Yeah, yeah,
the 225.
yeah. But, oh my gosh, that water looks so good. The
Yeah,
grass and everything. I like this one. It looks mwah.
it came to mine, I guess.
I love it.
Friday,
Ooh.
February. Oh, I know it's Friday, and I know that. I was just trying to think of what the date was. But then I
Mhm.
was thinking, that's right, because Ramon and I were going on the 22nd. That's
Yep.
tomorrow. All right,
2,
well,
2, 2.
222 exactly, because that was
Mhm.
actually that other channel that I'm working on was going to go live, but I couldn't get any of those videos I wanted to edit done in time, and so I've pushed the date up a month.
Yeah.
And then I was also trying to figure out how to make on this Linux computer how to connect an external um, webcam to it so I can get
Ah,
my
okay.
my downward shot. How can I to do that? And then, so, but that's going to require me getting on a video call with the guy
Mhm.
who gave it to me, and somebody else to figure all that crap out for me because I can't figure it out for myself.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of at a point you gotta decide, like, is the time that I'm spinning my wheels over something, is it worth it, or can I just get somebody else to help me?
Well,
Yeah.
you're dealing with a computers in that sense, then you have to use command lines, and you're
Mm,
using code in order
yeah.
to
Well, first off,
uh,
no, the first thing when they start to ask, "Yes, I did turn it on and off again and restarted
yeah,
it. Yes."
that's right, because you have to do that because I've noticed that because it was after having Terror Ass Backward on that there were all these weird echoes, and like, oh, you got to turn your phone on and off, and and so that goes, that's the thing is about these technologies is that happens a lot, and then it actually
Yeah.
it'll
That's like
happen
every
in,
IT's person favorite thing to say.
yeah, and that's
Didn't turn it
also
back
like
on and off again,
if
yeah.
you're, even if you're calling somebody, you have to do that. Like I was with that computer, I was like, I had the
Need a
Windows
reboot. It needed a reboot. Yeah.
exactly, even though I had like four movies that I was watching at the same, I watch a few minutes here and there and there, and think, well, luckily the Google is going to save those spots for me, so I don't have to write all that stuff down.
Hmm.
Not like
Did
it
it?
wasn't. Oh, I don't know. I haven't. I
Okay.
just
Did it? I don't know.
before I started came on here. But anyways, I got to start making the dinner here, and this has
Yeah,
been
I gotta
a
go take care of my
it's
kiddos.
a delightful show here today, and I'm so
Yeah.
glad that you came on here. But I had a backup plan, and just in case you didn't come on, and so this was my backup plan, and I was no, what
Hanging. I'm just hanging. Oh my gosh. Bill, this is hilarious.
Yeah. I made a backup plan, and so just in
Just
case
hanging
you
around.
flipped out on me, and so but I'm glad that you are here. I'm so pleased. So I will do my back. I will do this for another day, like maybe even like before
That was
midnight.
funny. Yeah, that's so funny you use that, like, the hangman is when, like, I was reading for somebody and it's like, I read that in the position, it was like, "You're afraid, like, you're just gonna be, like, left hanging, like, stood up or something," and she's like, "Oh my god, yes." Like, that's the way I went, I'm like,
I
"What
don't.
is
I guess
this?" Yeah.
I chose this one. I
Just
chose this
hanging
one
around.
because
Yeah.
'cause I sketched it out in like 5 minutes, and just right like 5 minutes before I turned this camera on, I sketched
It's
this thing
really
out,
good.
and I'm thinking, okay, let's just do that, or maybe it was 15 minutes before,
And I
maybe
and I
20.
I was trying to I just couldn't find the email, like, and then I found it. It's like, "Let me just look again."
Well, I sent it to you again, but then
Okay, you did? I was yeah, that's what I was like in chat on here. I was
so
like, "By the way"
so even like some of the cars that I've done before,
Ooh, I like that temperance one.
yeah, I'm
Who
gonna.
did that one with you?
I did it with me.
Well, you and Bill really do a great job together,
I did,
and that's a really good car.
I did it, because there's a lot of these stuff I did before I started this, and
Oh, that's
so
funny.
I will, with the ones that are
Yeah. Oh, that looks
easy,
good.
yeah, with the ones that are easier to draw, I will probably,
It's like his, aura is, like, coming out behind it.
yeah, yeah, I like
Yeah,
that's
that's cool.
did it that way, and this one we did with Ange,
And
and we did
roots and
this,
waves. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
yeah.
Yeah, super cool.
Well, anyways, I better go before I get in
Yeah, I
trouble.
better go too. Yeah, me too.
And, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. my time and 11 p.m. Ramon's time,
Ramon.
and Scarab's time, and we will be doing the Wheel of Fortune, which, it happens to be that it's kind of been funny here. I've been throwing these cards out, and then it's like, oh, yeah, that's exactly the one I wanted to do.
It's been coming out a lot, like, over the past, like, months, the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good card to do.
I don't think
Energy is a good match.
I am going to be now. Sam from Spain wants to come on, but he has to wait till after he turns 16. His folks won't
Oh,
let him go out now. He said, "Well, they don't want you to go
when
out
you
on."
said sand from Spain, like, I couldn't help but, like, I started thinking about, the rain or hold up, it rains on the plains or something, like, what was that,
Yeah,
from My Fair Lady, like, where he's trying to teach her anyways,
and so
it's something it rhymes with something in Spain. The
yeah.
rains
So like this one here, I
I can't
don't
remember.
know. I don't like all the line work on it. There's some of these I just plain I'm not gonna do. Um, simply
How
just
about,
because.
like, you have the Bill hates it segment?
Well, yeah,
Bill's
okay.
least favorite.
If it was my least favorite, I'd be more than happy to go and we'll do a tracing of it, and I'll remove most all the stuff out of the background. So
Mhm.
if it's like to me, this just looks really muddy. The image looks muddy and dirty. I mean, even with this one, we will do this one, except that I'm going to
Yeah,
do
but
tracing
I
of it.
think, like, there was, like, some I mean, of course, there's, like, importance, though, like, with that 6 of Cups with that background was, that it's a safe kind of area, like, if you can look, like, there's, like, a guard or somebody, like, walking in the background in the
Yeah.
distance. Yeah,
Mhm.
um, yeah, so but anyways, but or I don't know, like, maybe you could just, like, do them, like, where you make like bring the forefront to pop more. You know what I mean?
Well, you can do that. Well, I did with the tracing. You go over it with the tracing paper, and
Hi, Mama
then
Sushi.
yeah, welcome, Mama Sushi, and then you take the tracing plate paper and you flip it over onto the other side, and then you go back in and you redraw it, and then you
Hmm.
take a piece of paper and you run it back down on this side again
Okay.
on your piece of paper that you want to draw over. Then you go over and trace over it, and then it lays the graphite down on that other surface.
Yeah.
So
They have
it's
this like tracing like technology too.
there is
I kind of wanted to try one of those sometime, but but
yeah.
I don't want you to get in trouble. I think we both probably gotta.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
it's been
dog.
fun.
And then I do got to bring the wood in too, and
Yeah, we'll have
you
to
know,
read together sometime too. I'm
I have
really,
to.
you've been doing a super good job at that, Bill.
So I have to. I'll come on your show to do that,
Sure.
and then we can book a time when you start back at it because eventually
Yeah,
I
I'm just
want
gonna be gone for about a week. I mean, not like gone, but yeah. Y'all probably see me
to.
around here and there, but I'm even trying not to like be on YouTube like in general as much right now. So,
No, it's a good idea to take breaks like that and
hmm,
give, not looking at the news and not
yeah,
watching.
gotta get my downloads, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean,
My spiritual downloads for myself. Yeah.
yeah, I don't even know if I like that language.
I kind of do because I feel like I get a lot of them in dreams, and I need to like sit with some of my dreams
Yeah, I
because
might
it's
just.
not like yeah, because it's not like yeah, it is. It's like almost something I am literally like. That's why I feel like it almost is like literally a download. So I guess that's why I can
I
kind
guess
of see the negative thought of that, but literally, it's like I'm not even trying to think of some of this stuff. It's come, Anyways, that's a whole nother
I
conversation.
guess what I would say is it reminds me too much of the Matrix movie, and then he says, "Oh, I know kung fu now." Oh, and then he comes out with a gun and it's like, "Oh yeah, we got another download here. Here's a download,
Yeah, no, yeah. I just think of it like opening up a internet page. Like
white out on the cross.
it's like a new thought, something that I've received new information about. Is kind of the way I think about it.
Yeah, I
But
know.
not
Yeah.
as trivial as an internet page, but
Anyway, all right. I better get going
anyway,
here
so
before I get in trouble.
yeah.
And oh man, this was just such a delight. All I can say was a delight, and I wanted to thank everybody for
Oh, thanks. I
taking care of
enjoyed it.
themselves in the chat. And I wasn't really following along too much because it's a bit of multitask for
Mhm.
me. And then temperance, yeah. More. So, did you want to do temperance again, Elizabeth? I can do a tracing of that, and when we come on the second time we do this, we'll do temperance. Anyway,
Who to Elizabeth or
yeah,
okay, yeah.
Elizabeth.
Well, hey, anytime you want me on, I like to help with the colors and stuff. This is fun and I like to talk. So
Yeah,
it's always good to spend time together. And I'll be in touch with you about going on my channel for a few things too.
all right. I'm
All
looking
right.
forward. All right, bye bye,
Okay.
y'all.
Thank you. Bye bye.
You're
Have a
welcome.
good
Bye.
night.
You
Mwah.
too.